Hello dear students, welcome back all of you to the physics online class. So let us continue with the next numerical today. In the previous videos we solved the three different numericals related to the interference of the light. Yes, today I am solving another two numericals which are or which may be asked in your examination, right? What are those? The first one is the NCERT numerical. The question is light of the wavelength 5000 angstrom, light of wavelength 5000 angstrom falls on a plane reflecting surface. What are the wavelength and the frequency of the reflected light? What are the wavelength and the frequency of the reflected light? For what angle of incidence is the reflected ray normal to the incident ray? So, this is a very beautiful question. What I can say, actually here light undergoes the reflection, then here there is one reflecting surface. When a ray of the light will incident at this point, okay, and it undergoes the reflection. This is the incident ray and this is the reflected ray. Already we discussed in the previous numerical that if the ray undergoes reflection, the wavelength does not change. It remains same because the reflection takes place in one medium only, right? Therefore, here as they asked the question, what is the question here? So, what are the wavelength and the frequency of the reflected light? Wavelength is the same as the incident only the frequency we need to calculate, okay? Then further the question continued with, for what angle of the incident is the reflected ray normal to the incident ray? If see, assume they have only given here how will be the incident ray is normal to the reflected ray. Therefore, if they are normal means how much angle between them? 90 degree. Therefore, if they are normal to each other, then tell me for what angle of incident they are normal. That means I value incident angle we need to calculate here. Yes, write down here. I have to calculate incident angle and the wavelength I can say lambda dash or lambda 1 and the frequency we need to calculate. So, first we know that for a reflection the incident wavelength and the wavelength of reflected light both are same only, therefore, that is also 5000 angstrom. Okay. Then next come with the frequency. As we know, the frequency nu can be given as velocity of the light in the air medium or the vacuum upon the wavelength, that is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8. We already know that standard value, velocity of the light in the vacuum 3 into 10 raised to 8 upon wavelength is, that is 5000 angstrom means 10 raised to minus 10. I think after the simplification you get the answer 6 into 10 raised to 14 hertz as the frequency of the reflected light. Okay. The hertz is the SI unit of the frequency. Okay. Then moving to the next one, the next question is for what angle of the incident, right? The reflected and the incident ray are normal to each other. Yes, they only told that a reflected ray and the incident ray are normal means between them what is the total angle? The angle of incident plus the angle of reflection is equal to 90 degree. Then see dear student, in the reflection, I think in your 10th class also you studied, the law of reflection says that angle of incidence is equal to angle of the reflection. Therefore, if you use the condition I is equal to R, then in place of the R you can substitute I only. I plus I is equal to 90 degree. That implies 2I is equal to 90 degree. Therefore, the incident angle I is equal to how much? 45 degree. Then it gives me the result that when the angle of incidence is equal to 45 degree, then the reflected ray and the incident ray both are normal to each other. Am I clear? Yes. The first question we calculated the wavelength of the reflected ray, second one the frequency of that, and the last one is for what angle of the incidence the incident and the reflected ray are normal or perpendicular to each other. That is an angle 45 degree. Okay? Yes. And let us move to the another numerical that is also little important type. In YDS means Young's double slit experiment. In YDS experiment, light of wavelength, light of 620 nanometer is used. How much is the wavelength? Go on writing here. It is having a wavelength of 620 nanometer. Is used and the two slits are so 0.3 millimeter apart. The distance between the two slits means that is a 0.3 millimeter. Interference fringes observed on the screen are. Interference fringes observed on the screen are. When they observed the interference fringes on the screen, what is their wavelength, what is their width there? The width of the fringe is given as beta is equal to 1.3 millimeter. Okay. Now, the question is calculate first in that the distance of the slits from the screen. That means first you need to calculate what is the capital D, distance of the screen from the slits. And the second one, the fringe width if the distance is doubled. Then the second one is if D dash is equal to 2D, then what will be the new fringe width is formed. You have to calculate. Yes. Then let us start with the derivation. See dear student, when such a question will be given, first you have to think on which is a suitable formula to solve this numerical. And when it is asked like this means it is obviously the formula which is interconnected between all the things can be given, that is the fringe width beta is equal to lambda d by d. This is our formula. Then with the help of this, first we calculate the capital D. So, the capital D is equal to beta into d upon lambda, that is equal to, substitute the values given here, 620 into 10 raised to minus 9 into small d means it is 0.3 into 10 raised to minus 3 upon the wavelength is, here beta means how much? Beta is 1.3 into 10 raised to minus 3. Then small d, that is equal to 0.3. Then here it comes 620 into 10 raised to minus 9 nanometer is there. So, after the simplification of this, you will get the distance that is in a meter. Okay? That gives me the distance of the slits from the screen. Okay? Yes. Then the next question is, if they have only given the condition, if the distance is doubled, if it is made twice of the initial one, that means I can take the new distance is the d dash is equal to 2d, then what will be the fringe width? What will be the fringe width? See dear student, we discussed already that if the distance between the sources and the slit is increased, then definitely the fringe width also increases. Then if it is 2D means what happens? It will also increase by 2 times. So, by this also we can calculate with the help of the formula. Let us calculate that. Beta dash is equal to, here I will write lambda dash, that is a d dash into lambda upon small d. This is equal to 2 times the lambda d upon small d. Okay. Then if you want to substitute all the values here, 2 into 620 nanometer into the capital D what it is obtained in the last step, then whole divided by smaller d means it is equal to 0.3 into 10 raised to minus 3. Yes, after the simplification of this, I hope you will get the answer in terms of the millimeter. Okay. So, this is the how. Sometimes the numerical may be asked by double when the distance is doubled or the distance between the slits is halved, like that few of the questions will be changed. And the same also, last also I solved one numerical where the whole apparatus was immersed in a water. Then also what happens, there is a change in the wavelength and the velocity of the light takes place. By considering that, we need to solve the next numerical. Okay. Related to the interference of light, this much enough. Further, so we can solve on the diffraction of the light. Okay. Then before going to solve that, let us continue the concept of the diffraction of the light. Diffraction. Yes, what is the diffraction, dear students? In the previous class, I have given the definition of the diffraction of the light, isn't it? What was the diffraction? Yes, the diffraction of the light. Fraction of light, or I can say diffraction, how you want you can pronounce. Diffraction means we have observed that, means it is a very rare observation. If our eye has the sensitive to observe such a optical things, it is possible, where we have seen the bending of the light rays around the edges of the door or the windows we can observe. That only nothing but the diffraction of the light, isn't it? So, diffraction is the phenomenon of bending of the light around the edges of the obstacle and entering into the geometrical shadow. Where the light will enter after bending, it will enter into the geometrical shadow. Okay. Then see, dear student, this is possible. How it will enter into the geometrical shadow? Because the diffraction of the light is possible only because the wavelength of the light is very smaller compared to the size of the obstacle. If the size of the obstacle is greater and the wavelength of the incident light is more, then it is not possible. So, if it is greater and the wavelength is smaller, then only we can observe the diffraction of the light. Okay. Then previous class I told you that there are two types of the diffraction based on the scientist who conducted the experiment. On that, the name Fresnel and the Fraunhofer is given. Then today, to understand the diffraction of the light in a detail, we are using the Fraunhofer diffraction, that is diffraction of the light through the single slit. Yes, which concept we are discussing today? The diffraction of the light through single slit. Then for this there is one compulsory diagram, one single slit. We are using a slit here, that is why one slit is there, so it is called a single slit. L dash we can call, and the parallel light rays which are coming from the source, which is kept at an infinite distance. Yes, I can take this L dash as the slit, which is having a width of, A, right, and this is the screen here, and on the screen I consider another point called P, where the rays of the light may converge. That means where they may meet from the every point from the slit. See dear student, during the discussion of the diffraction of the light, here the Huygens wave principle also applicable. Actually here is the point O and here is the point P. The light rays which are moving or reaching the point P, they make an angle theta with the direction of the incident ray. The angle theta is called the angular width, or it is also called the angle of the diffraction of the light. Okay. Then here L dash is the single slit through which the light will enter into the slit. And see dear student, I can take here xy is the plane wavefront. It is a plane wavefront which incident with a particular wavelength, let us call it is wavelength of lambda here, right. Then when that plane wavefront reach the edges of the slit here, it undergoes the bending phenomena. The bending of the light around the edges of the obstacle only called as diffraction of the light. Therefore, the diffracted ray of the light, they will meet at the point P here. See, during this phenomena, what the things need to be considered? The waves, in this we consider that xy is the plane wavefront. According to the Huygens wave principle, each point on the plane wavefront act like a secondary source. That is a source for the secondary waves. That means the secondary waves are coming from the plane wavefront xy only. Therefore, the secondary waves which are coming from the plane wavefront xy, they will come and superimpose each other. If they have the zero phase difference, then if they meet the point O here, this gives me the central maximum band. What is that? The band which is formed at the center of the fringe, it is called as the central maximum, right. Then now my aim is to calculate what is the fringe formed at the point P here. Yes, the waves are diffracted around the edges here, that diffracted waves are superimposing each other and reaching the point P here, isn't it? So now my aim is to calculate how much is the phase difference or how much is the path difference between the secondary waves which are reaching the point P here. Based on that path difference only, we can analyze, we can determine whether the point P is of the bright fringe or it is of the dark fringe. But in the diffraction of the light, we instead of a bright and a dark, we are calling the first secondary maxima and the secondary minima. We are calling them as a secondary maxima, secondary minima. Okay. Then let us discuss first the path difference between the two waves which are reaching the point P here. See, in this case, I can take here it is a N. It is just like a interference of the light by the double slit experiment. There also we have taken the path difference, then we calculated the path difference and the fringe width here. If I take the path difference between waves reaching point P can be given as that is L dash P minus LP, L dash P minus LP, that is nothing but L dash N, that gives me the path difference between, see here, L dash P minus LP means it gives me the L dash N, that L dash N is the path difference between the secondary waves coming from the slit and reaching the point P here. Therefore, if you apply here the delta, then that delta can be given as, L dash N means, in place of that I can write it as as A sin theta, How that L dash N is taken as sin theta? Here if the angle is theta, then remember this angle, that is angle L dash L N will be theta angle. And which is the opposite side for the theta? L dash N is the opposite side. Now you want to find L dash N, therefore L dash means, as I told, it is A only, that is called slit width, it is the width of the slit. Okay. Then therefore L dash N is nothing but the phase path difference, and that is equal to A sin theta. For a small angle, for small theta, this can be given as A theta is equal to lambda only, A theta is equal to lambda, or else theta is equal to lambda by A, So this is an important formula. And see dear student, when the theta is equal to lambda by A, or if you take the 2 lambda by A, then the waves are here, the slit can be divided into the equal parts. If you divide the equal parts here, the wavelength will come lambda by 2, lambda by 2. Then the waves which are reaching the point P here, they superimpose each other, they will form the secondary minima. That means the intensity of the waves which are reached the point P will decrease, that becomes 0 only. Therefore, the general condition, by this I can write here the angular separation or diffraction angle for secondary minima is given as, that is theta is equal to n lambda by A. Remember, this is the condition for the theta. So that is n lambda by A, or if you want 2n lambda by 2A, like this also you can write. Okay. So if you are taking the 2 here, then it becomes changed as the angular width of the central maximum. Therefore, for a secondary minima, you can write the condition here, theta is equal to n lambda by A. Then similarly, if the slit is divided into the unequal, then it becomes odd multiple of the integral multiple of the lambda will come. Therefore, the general condition for secondary maxima can be given as theta is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2a. 2n plus 1 lambda by 2a will be the general conditions that I can write for the secondary maxima. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಇಷ್ಟೇ, ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನೋಡ್ರಪ್ಪ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ the waves which are coming from the slit, they will superimpose with the 0 phase here. So the point O is the central maximum, but the central maximum as you move away from the central maximum, the intensity of the light waves goes on decreases. So, there the intensity curve can be obtained in this manner. The intensity curve for the diffraction of the light can be given like this. You can see the decrease in the peak of the or amplitude of the wave here. Yes, and this gives me the central maximum, and it is followed by the secondary minima. Here what the trough we are finding, they are called these first secondary minima we call, first secondary minima, these two are. Then these are called first secondary maxima, first secondary maxima. Then if you go for the next set here, this one, these are called second secondary minima. Whatever after the central bright fringe, what things you are going to get after on both the side of the wave, they are called as the secondary maxima and secondary minima. If the first secondary maxima is there, so then you have to mention this point. First secondary minima means the exactly beside of the central maxima, they are taken. Okay. Like this you can see here the decrease in the amplitude, showing us that the intensity of the diffracted fringes goes on decreases if you move away from the central maximum. Central maximum anna bittu ನೀವು ಈ ಕಡೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ intensity ನೋಡ್ರಿ slowly gradually it is goes on decreases. Okay. So, this is what the point we wanted to discuss, and remember the general condition for the secondary minima and the secondary maxima as given. It is just a reverse in the case of the interference of the light, right. So, this is the maximum point we wanted to discuss. Then remaining thing, difference between the interference and the diffraction and the validity of the ray optics we discuss means this chapter will complete. Okay. So, we see in the next video. Thank you for watching.